Today I find myself in the Blanco Cemetery in Blanco, Texas. I just happened to be driving through and this cemetery is on the side of the road, and so as usual I stopped. It's a drizzly, foggy day, so the perfect day to wander around a cemetery. I've only been here for a few minutes, but already I'm very impressed with the older section of this cemetery. Obviously there's some newer, more modern plots, but the older section goes back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, and some of the stones are quite remarkable. I do want to point out one or two plots in particular that caught my eye almost immediately upon entering the cemetery. These are two plots that belong to a good section of the Rust family that is buried all around here. But if you look, you can see all the seashells that line the cover of these two plots. They're very identical tombstones. One is one of the wives of the Rust family. The other one is a male. I don't know what his connection is. But they are quite striking. Not only do they stand out apart from everything else in the cemetery, but it's got this tree growing out from the middle, which really kind of catches your eye as well. So everything about that final resting place really tells you a story. Another thing that caught my eye are this set of three burial plots. They are very high walled. As you can see, it is a deep, tall wall around the graves, and you see little walls around family plots and various graves like that, but usually it's ankle tall at most. These are giant walled in areas, and they're actually quite cool. This one over here, in fact, has a really cool stone inside that I'm assuming it's fallen over a couple times, or they're worried about people taking off with it, but it's got a chain around it, as you can see here, a chain that loops it around, holds it to the wall so that it doesn't fall to the ground again. I've seen some like this before, but these ones kind of stand out because they're kind of on their own here in this cemetery. In this cemetery, obviously it's a very old cemetery. As I said, it was a lot of these stones in the older section are dating back to the late 1800s. I'm seeing a lot of rocks like so protruding from the ground. It's kind of hard to see, but sharp little rocks here and there that are possibly markers. I'm pretty sure they are if they're sticking out of the ground like that. For instance, this one right here, little rock sticking out as I've seen, but it's also got the nameplate that someone had added earlier or later. This one you can't read what was originally inside there, but it does lead me to believe that I have to be more careful walking around here, because there are quite a few of these little pokey rocks sticking out of the ground, and I want to be very respectful of where I'm walking. Unfortunately, this place is not alone in its acts of vandalism. Sometimes this stone is a very pretty stone, but obviously there was something here in the middle that has been removed, more likely than not by vandals. I make my way through this cemetery, which is quite large, the older part of this cemetery is very large, I found some more seashell graves. A couple more here. There's one with conch shells right there, and there's also another one back here. So it's very interesting to see those and to see that it's kind of a thing that people would do. I quite like it. So this one is quite ornate. It's more seashell graves, but it's an entire family. We have mother, father, I think grandfather. We have about 3 small children, which, as you know, is always sad to me. But this is a really remarkable resting place. Spent way more time here than I thought I would. It's a very cool cemetery. Obviously the fog and the little bit of misty rain helped a little bit. Yeah, I gotta hit the road, guys. I gotta get back on the road. So until next time, I'll see you then.